Hello everyone and welcome to Tuesday night's TGPF2. Today we are at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Tonight I've got Dom back in the commentary box. How are you, Dom?
Hello, Jack. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I am good and I'm ready for this Grand Prix. We've got two here obviously. Championship leader Softy has looked extremely fast again this week. So I'll be believing he is the leader for pole. He's obviously the championship leader on 140 points. His closest rival is Dan the Man on 31. Are we seeing the early dominance from Softy pulling through, so Dom?
Well, Softy's certainly impressed so far, as you said. A bit of an advantage already after the first 4 rounds. 31 points is the gap, but I mean, Dan the Man's still up there, and I think Aiden and Martin just about hanging on to. But Softy, you got to say, if he wins here, he's got one hand on that trophy, I think.
So here we are for one shot qualifying. We will go on board with Aiden for his lap as he comes to the first corner, tries not to invalidate, lifting off and downshifting, coming up to the second part of Farm and Village before the swooping left-hander. This is going to be the trickiest corner of the night, I believe. That one there, the loop as he comes on to the Wellington straight, opens up the DRS. He's down the order a wee bit, Aiden. Not what he'll be wanting as he comes up to Brooklands and then on to Leafield before the lovely section of Cops, Maggots and Beckett's. As you can see, Softy at the top still. He's not usually not there. Aiden's jumped up the order a bit here, looking quite good. Obviously on the softs and the hards tonight. And I believe the tyre wear is horrendous, drivers are saying. So I'm so glad I'm commentating and not racing. Aiden lovely through Maggots and Beckett's there. That left curb just doesn't come fast enough on that exit of that corner, but down the hanger straight now. Into the lovely Stowe corner. The game's quite lenient here, going wide. You don't usually invalidate, so drivers can maybe take that a bit faster than Aiden has, but obviously he doesn't want to risk qualifying down the order. So it looks like Softy is going to be on pole, but where will Aiden finish? He's up into 4th, down to 5th. Softy on pole, Dan the Man in 2nd, and Martin rounds out the top 3 with Owen and Aiden. Softy there, a 39.6. What do you think of that, Dom?
Well, Softy once again setting the benchmark in qualifying. I think Owen and very impressing. Here it is finished. He's looking good for the race here.
Yeah, I think second.
But yeah, solid lap from Softy.
2nd to 5th are all covered by a 2nd, but the order for the British Grand Prix: Softy on pole with Dan the Man 2nd, Martin and Owen 3rd and 4th, Aiden and Jeaners 5th and 6th, with Speed Knighton and Khalifa 7th and 8th, and Phil and Alistair rounding out the top 10. Softy, there's been 8 races this season, he's won 5, so I wouldn't expect anything different this week, and obviously getting the 4 points for pole position, so he takes a 35 point lead going into this featured race. Obviously not.
It's going to be crucial turn 1, I think.
Yeah,
Softy's done so well so far this season. Dan the Man, not so much, so it's going to be crucial for Dan to get ahead into turn 1, but we've got rain.
Raining, oh, there's a bit of the weather throwing up, and that is, the drivers did not want that. So, wet tyres it will be, as you don't get intermediates in F2, am I correct saying that, yeah?
That is correct, just the one wet tyres in F2, so everyone's going to be on the same wet tyres.
I wonder if it's actually going to be wet enough for just wets. It might just be at the wrong conditions.
Well, it's certainly probably wet enough for just dries. Well, too wet, I should say, for dries.
So obviously not allowed to pit before lap 3 and not allowed to pit under the VSC. So anyone who has damage on lap 1 is going to have a horrid couple of laps before they can come into the pits. Just waiting for the final drivers to ready up before we have lights out. Here we are now on the straight. 4, 5 red lights. They're on for an age, and away we go for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Softy gets a good start there, Dan the Man having to defend from his teammate Martin. Aiden's past Johners as well. Owen's dropped back massively, but Softy leads into Village, and Aiden is up into P2. So Softy from Aiden. Dan the man is dropping back. He's already down into P5. There's a little bit of contact between the front three. And oh, someone's round. There's two people around. Dan the man, I think it is. Or no, it's Martin.
It's Jonas and Martin. They made contact. It was a move
yeah.
that was a bit contentional, but he went for it and he spun both of them round. Disaster for Jonas and Martin.
Sorry, Aiden down the inside. Maybe on Softy, not quite. Softy defends well. I couldn't actually tell which car that was, but Martin, yeah, and Johnner's back down into P13 and 14. Not the start they would have been looking for. And Alistair's lost it somewhere. He's down into P15. But Aiden is all over the back of Softy coming up to Cops. There's been another incident further back. Mick Schumacher's down the order. I didn't know he'd be joining TGP. Aiden now, if Aiden can get a good run onto the hangar straight, he could maybe have Softy up into Stores.
Oh!
Is there contact further
Sorry,
back?
Softy across the grass.
Oh, stupid spectator cams not showing me that. But now Aiden has got a lovely run. Obviously no DRS because it is raining. He wouldn't have it anyway. But 15 laps. Aiden, Softy making him use all the track. And obviously round the outside in the wets it's just not going to happen. Beautifully placed car from Softy. But Softy's struggling on the exits. Aiden now looking and looking and looking. He brakes really late round the outside. He's not going to have the speed. It was a nice try from Aiden, but Softy retains the lead. Dan the man though, all over the back of Aiden. As I say that, he runs extremely wide. Johners is in the pits. Obviously it's not going to count, so he will have to pit again. But obviously being spun around like that, I think he will have way too much damage to even survive going round more. Owen's gotten back up into P4. He had a disaster start. I've seen him down in 7th at one point after being 4th, but he's back up into P4, so that's good for Owen. Phil up there in P5 as well. Inverness fan as well, pitting as well, so he'll have to pit again. Obviously the damage too much to go 3 laps. But now the leader coming through Brooklands onto Lewfield. That corner looks extremely horrible in the rain. It's horrible when it's dry, never mind in the wet. Aiden's starting to drop off from Softy as well. I do not believe
it was a fantastic start from Aiden, I have to say. But the first lap, he just seems to be on a different circuit as everyone else. He pulled away from, I think, from 5th to 2nd, and then straight away finds Softy. Aiden's really coming alive this race, and Softy appears to be struggling. We're not seeing this season.
Yeah, maybe the wet conditions. Softy's not been practicing, so maybe this could be good for Aiden. And this is the first time we've seen Softy this season look weak at a track that first lap.
It's a rare sight.
Senna, the closest battle on track. He's right up Mr. Giapelli's chuff, coming up onto Stowe. It's going to be too far back. Too far back. And what a horrible paint job is on that car. Not being funny.
Yeah, not great.
The amount of guys that have chosen number 2 for their car this season is quite unreal. Softy sets a 1:57.7. Jesus, that is not the lap times you want to see. But Phil all over the back of his teammate Owen. Just can't quite get the straight line speed. Obviously the wet conditions. You can see the damp line, but it's just the braking zones are going to be braking way too early to try and Softy is starting to pull away the gaps. 1.4 seconds. I just can't get over how good it sounds when the F2 car shift. It's actually sounds way too good. Although Aiden's actually pulled 7 tenths this lap on Softy, so maybe Aiden's found the pace again as it springs back up. So Owen runs a wee bit wide. Phil might get a run on him here.
Khalifa's right behind Phil too, so Owen's got to be careful.
Yeah, Khalifa's been fast this season. Just the consistency, or the luck, I should say, it's been really harsh on him so far. Obviously, he was really unlucky not to get a podium. He would have got a podium in Austria last week, but obviously the penalty promoted Aiden up into P3. Khalifa is right up the back of Phil coming onto the hanger straight. Can't quite get the straight line speed on the exit. I think Phil's got better traction and will keep the position.
Will anyone pit this time round? Make their first pit stop. Now the window is open.
Senna has overtaken Luca Giapelli, but he's coming back at him. Just can't quite get the straight line speed, and Senna has gone very wide there actually. Not too sure about that line. But Luca still trying to make, still side by side coming through the last section of the track. But Senna will keep the position. 19 pits.
Luca's got a good run here on Senna still. Into turn one, he's gone for the outside line. They're getting side by side almost, but Senna should take it into the first corner.
And Senna's gone wide, so here comes Luca Giapelli back down the inside. Round the outside, sorry, it'll be the inside for the next corner. And Luca's going to get him here unless he... Yeah, he's going to get him. Luca up into P7. But they're still
Nice move.
side by
Yellow
side
flags.
here. But, oh, Luca finally makes that move stick. Little flags again, yeah, that's correct. Wonder who that
Yeah, so it was risky in
on.
the final couple of corners. Lost the back end and spun round, but he's back on track now. And back into 13th position.
Phil all over the back of his teammates still. Khalifa shooting off in the background there. And, well, Owen is 4.4 behind the podium positions. So if Phil's wanting a podium, he needs to get past Owen pretty soon.
Luca's gone wide in the gravel trap. That's allowed Senna to retake 7th from him. Luca was struggling to pull away, and the Senna, as soon as he saw his chance, went back through, back into 7th.
Dan Leman has a 3-second time penalty, so if Owen can close that gap, there's a podium on for Owen or Phil here. Maybe that the 4-second gap's not going to matter anymore if they can close it down to 3. Aiden is starting to catch back up to Softy at the front. He's been closing that gap a 10th a lap so far. It's down under a second. Obviously doesn't really matter, no DRS in the rain. But the closer you are, the better slipstream and the faster Aiden will go.
We don't believe the rain's going to clear up. We think it's going to stay like this, so no chance of the driver staying out for maybe a dry spell potentially, maybe such as the dry tyres. It should stay wet for the entirety of the race. So no undercuts with those type of strategies expected.
Lovely British weather. We just love it, don't we?
We love to see it. First wet race of the season, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, first wet race of the season.
We've got Luca again, right on the back of Senna, sorry, into turn 1. Keeping him on as these two have been scrapping all race. Fantastic to see. Meanwhile, Khalifa's still all over Phil. So lots of battles throughout still.
Horrible spectator cam there, Codemasters. But
classic.
I love looking at the back wing when... Oh, Luca's lost it! Luca's round! He's lost it on the loop. And Aiden is 5 tenths behind Softy. I don't know where he's pulled 4 tenths from, but Softy must be struggling. Aiden is all over the back of him.
It was sector 1. Softy just didn't seem to have the confidence in the first couple of corners, and Aiden pulled a 10th, pulled a second 10th, and on the back straight pulled an extra 2 tenths in the slipstream. The gap now at 8 tenths, still under a second. He is keeping Softy honest.
This is the closest. This is the only battle on track that's actually under a second, believe it or not. Sadly. Obviously, the only people to pit so far are 14th, 15th, and 16th. So we're still waiting for everyone to box. A lot of people. There might actually be some people getting held up if they all box at the same time. So there could be a few throw-ups in the order when they exit the pits.
Let's see if Softy pits. Probably won't want to, because potentially traffic if you pit now from the lead. So I think Softy both will stay out, and indeed they do.
The wets could maybe. Do you think the wets could maybe go the whole 15 laps, or do you think that's impossible?
Well, I think they definitely could, but I think the managerial still. I believe it still is in effect, isn't it? I think they still have to pit for a change of tyres. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I felt it was still. They still have to pit once, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe your knowledge is better than mine.
I'm not quite sure, but it'd be pretty good if someone did have to pit. If they did have to pit, sorry, throw up the order a wee bit.
That'd be good to see. As Y Racer pits from 10th, suggesting that you do have to pit or the tyres are struggling. 7/10 is the gap at the front between Softy and Aiden.
And Senna
is only coming down.
Senna has passed Khalifa.
Nice.
Don't know where that's obviously happened in the sector 1, but Aiden is closing that gap down.
Yeah, Khalifa's going back at Senna. These two are scrapping away now. So Senna's managed to jump Khalifa. I don't know if maybe he's had an incident or somewhere, but the two of them
they're
side by side again.
Oh, and sadly Martin's disconnected, I believe, there. Or he's just given up. But I think in 8th, I think he was disconnected. Hopefully he can join back before Luca catches him. Senna starting to pull away from Khalifa. Aiden seems to catch a lot in the first sector, and then after Cops he just can't quite keep up with Softy. Khalifa's back past, and he's gone off again. Lovely line there, making the grass cutters out of a job. Khalifa.
Softy around wide at the penultimate corner. It's allowed Aiden to stay within 87/10, and it's the first sector, as you said, where Aiden's finding the pace, so potentially could get close enough if he can stick with these next couple of corners. Potentially go for an overtake on the next straight, but it looks like he's a bit too far back again. 8/10.
You do not, I don't think you need to pit from what I'm reading on the F2 website. I don't believe you need to pit.
Okay, well, Phil Bardwell has not had that memo. He has dived into the pit lane from P5.
I could be wrong.
One of these drivers know the rules.
Yeah.
We don't.
I checked the website, and from what I'm reading, I don't believe you have to pit under wets. And
okay.
And if it goes dry, you don't need to use, obviously, the 2 tyres. I don't
Knight's about to make a move on Kim for P12, the final points position in this race up the inside. I'm not sure if you're seeing this, but Kim concedes the position. Knighton, very nicely done, takes 12th place, and the final point in Aiden is now just 4/10 behind Softy again. Sector 1, he's so much quicker, so much more confident.
Yeah, I just don't think Aiden has the traction through Maggots and Beckett's to maybe get a move done, because the only place you can really make a move is the Wellington straight or the Hanger straight, and he's not close enough on the Hanger straight to make a move. And because of that, he's not close enough. He just can't get close enough to make a move on the Wellington straight. But with P2, Aiden will be delighted with P2. He's got I think he's got quite a lot of P2s this season, so he knows the only person faster in the F2 car is Softy. He just can't beat Softy. Hopefully at one point this season we'll maybe see him on the top step.
Hopefully, still plenty of time left in the season to see that.
Khalifa is catching Senna through Maggots and Beckett's just before the Hanger straight. And yeah, that left curb just does not come quick enough. You want that curb so much, but you have to downshift to even stay on the track. He's losing time on the straight, so he's not. Softy and Aiden both pit.
Leaders pits. Yeah, both the front two. Let's see how the pit stops go. This could be crucial. And where will they come out traffic-wise? Aiden probably doing the right thing here, just following his rival in. But can his pit could get him ahead of Softy? This is going to be very interesting.
Aiden pits first, so he would be the one that gets caught by traffic first. See, the longer pit stop, because there's only one man on each position, and they're not.
And there's another car coming into the pit lane. Owen, is that going to affect it?
He's not going to interrupt. So Softy and Aiden, P3 and P2, obviously they are net 1 and net 2, and Aiden has actually closed the gap a lot. Aiden's closed the gap a lot.
He has. Phil's come around the final couple of corners now. It's close between him and Owen before the pit stops. So these two, I think Owen should still just about come ahead as Martin rejoins the session. Senna and Khalifa also leaving the pit lane. Where does Phil rejoin? He's already jumped Luca.
He's back up into 5th. And oh, there's Owen there. He's not quite going to get him. Oh,
just about holds the position, but he has jumped Senna and Khalifa.
How long's a pit stop at Silverstone? 24 seconds?
Oh.
It might be
about
longer
34 maybe.
Longer in F2, ain't it? Yeah.
About 34 seconds. Actually, maybe a bit less. But then the man should rejoin, I think, again, behind Aiden. So that gives an idea. Probably about 28 seconds for a pit stop, I think.
Yeah, 38 seconds. Martin has rejoined the session. He's all over the back of Senna, so sadly he's lost out on that position.
Still to pit as well.
But he is ahead of Khalifa. Yeah, oh yeah, still to pit, so he's obviously... Alistair
And I think you do have to pit in F2. Unless Dan the Man knows something that these drivers don't and potentially steals a race win for staying out.
That would be some way to win a race. That would be some way. Phil now getting the better run through Marcus and Beckett's on his teammate Owen. Owen is going extremely wide, so Phil can get a good exit here. He could be making a move. And I think, yeah, he does. He's going to catch Owen, I think. It's in the slipstream. Just catching in and catching. He's just not going to be close enough in time, though. Gets extremely close through Stowe. It's just not close enough yet. Maybe down the Wellington straight if you can connect the next few corners well. They come round the club corner, the final corner, the most horrible corner in Silverstone. Through turn 1. And oh, Phil's gone wide and he's got a penalty, so that puts the end to that battle. Aiden not got the same pace as he did before he boxed. Softy getting the gap to 2 seconds. And Softy's gone really wide actually there.
Yeah, since they're under the stops, it looks like Softy has found a bit more confidence or just managed to pull a gap somewhere. And it's up to 2 seconds now.
Maybe Softy's got them tyres heated up and Aiden just can't quite get the temperatures on the wet track. Martin
John has recovered to 9th place, just worth note.
So he will be on reverse pole if... He's got to pit again, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got to pit.
Martin has to pit.
So
and John is potentially yes, you think?
He's got to pit again, yeah. He's got to
okay.
So
Mr.
GFL, yeah, reverse pole, definitely. Dan the Man cruising around the corner. As you see that, he has to correct his mistake there. Commentator's curse, but he is leading the Silverstone Grand Prix. And well, if he doesn't have to pit, he's in prime position to win this race, which would be quite a shock. He is catching up to lap some cars as they're going side by side. He's got a lovely view. Softy going a second faster than his previous fastest lap. So maybe conditions getting a wee bit better now. Martin just... Khalifa catching up to Martin. Hopefully going to be able to make a move soon, he'll be hoping. Although he is in reverse pole. So I'm not quite... He doesn't need to either. Martin does have to pit potentially, so he might not actually have to make the move. But they always want to make the move on track, don't you, for pride, as Martin runs wide. Gonna try round the loop and onto the Wellington straight. Who's going to get the better exit? Khalifa goes a bit wide and I don't think he's going to be close enough this time around. It's going to be quite special if Dan the Man wins this race, isn't it, Dom? To not have to pit.
I mean, yeah, if it's an absolute tactical genius, strategy genius, if that's the case, I seem to tend to side with you do have to stop, seeing as everyone else has made a stop.
Yeah,
but if you don't, then Dan's definitely going to be able to hold on for 5 more laps for 16-second gap. Sure, he's looking very good. If he's going to pit, you're going to think he's going to do it soon. If he wants to come out ahead of Owen Bass, so that Owen matches his 3-second time penalty with one of his own. So Dan the Man no longer has to worry about that.
And Phil is obviously back in the race for 4th now because Phil has a penalty as well, so that penalty cancelled out.
Indeed.
But both both ARTs are both not pit yet, so maybe they know something we don't, and that you don't need to pit, considering both are still out there on the tyres. Softy sets another fastest lap, so that 2 points looks to be coming his way. He'll be extremely disappointed if you don't have to pit and down him on. That's one, and someone's spun. Someone's gone round. I think it's Red Bull Kim. Not quite sure though.
Yeah, Khalifa's had an incident, I believe. Him and Martin came close. I think a gentle tap of wheels, and because of the conditions, both of them ended up losing a bit of time, and that's given breathing space to Senna, who's now comfortably in 6th.
Yeah, my timing seemed to be a wee bit off. They seem to be reacting just a couple of seconds later than yours. But right now, we're kind of in the boring part of the race where everyone's too far away, and Aiden's ahead of Softy. Softy's gone off. Aiden's ahead of Softy. Aiden
So Softy's had a mistake somewhere?
Yeah, Softy's had a mistake somewhere, unless my timings has been wrong. But yeah, Aiden...
No, Aiden has taken the net lead, or
Aiden,
P2 for now.
P2, and if... Yeah. Aiden will be even more disappointed if Dan doesn't pit and wins the race. And Khalifa's passed Senna, so Senna's gone off somewhere, because Khalifa... And Martin, yeah, is passed as well, so Senna's gone off somewhere. He's coming back down the inside, into Brooklyn. And Senna has lost that position to Khalifa, and Johners is actually all over the back of him. I didn't realise Johners were 2
And Softy still all over the back of Aiden, just 2/10 the gap. Aiden holding on for now for his dearest life, but Softy is all over him. Surely he's going to make a move soon. If he can stick close enough, Aiden was never this close to Softy. Softy just 3/10 the gap. He's going to go for a move surely on the next straight.
Yeah, but could the Sector 1 obviously play into play? Aiden was a lot faster earlier in the race, so if Aiden can get a good gap in Sector 1, Softy will have to...
Danaman does pit, I believe. Is that someone's pit ahead of Aiden? Maybe it's not Dan.
Danaman's still out. Danaman is
risky sorry.
Yeah, Danaman is still going through up into Village. So
Sorry, I went all crofty there. Yeah, Aiden. Sector 1's been good for him so far this race. Let's see if he can stick and pull away.
I think Dan's going to win this race, unless he... Although, what could be controversial, Dan, if he obviously completes it without pitting and you have to pit, he'll get disqualified, I believe, won't he? Yeah, if he...
Well, it's Codemasters and not the views of TGP series, but you never know. And Dan the man will be praying that if he knows the rules, that the rules are abided by, and that surely you'd think he would have pitted if he felt you had to. So maybe I'm certain. I think you're right. I think he believes you don't have to, and he's staying out, and it could be a strategy masterclass from Dan the man to take the win here in
It would be pretty harsh if he got disqualified after doing that, yeah, for not changing the tyres.
I mean, maybe he's going to pit on the last lap, but I'm not sure. Is Risky Racer letting all the back markers through? Sorry, the back marker is letting the faster cars through. Hence the yard flag.
If Dan the man pit this lap, he would come out between Owen and Phil. And he's losing time every single lap to the leaders, to the cars behind. So I believe
he'd be very close to Owen, I think. Yeah. Between Dan and Owen. I think you're right. Surely.
I think he believes. I believe he thinks he's going to win this race by staying out and up. And I think he's believing he's going to win the race.
And now that he's got Aiden holding on ahead of Softy, he's going to work out bad, Dan. He doesn't have to worry about Softy pulling the gap because he's got Aiden ahead of him.
And obviously, if Dan the Man wins, it's going to be an even bigger indent than 7 points into the gap. Although
definitely. So at the moment then, Senna will take reverse pole in P8. He was 6th earlier, so I suspect he's had an incident somewhere, or maybe just had a little spin. He's now back behind Khalifa. 8/10 is the gap. He's got Johners right behind. Johners looking for another reverse pole that worked so well for him in Monaco. Of course, winning the sprint race from the reverse pole. But yeah, battle still now throughout the field in these closing couple of laps.
Dan the Man, if wins this race and Softy finishes in 3rd, he will only gain 4 points in the championship.
Well,
so he'll cut the gap from 31 down to 27. I suppose 4 is better than 0, isn't it? And Johners has made a move.
And unfortunately for Dan, Softy has the fastest lap.
Yeah, Johners has made a move, so Johners will be on reverse pole as he's showing off his number 1. He comes through the final corner. So Johners for reverse pole, and last time he was on reverse pole, he won at Monaco. He's one of 4 drivers to win a race this season. Obviously Dan the Man, X-Dan, and obviously Softy has won 5. Domination.
This is now the 3rd lap on the wet tyres for Dan and Martin. And You have to think that with Jonas pitting on the first lap, maybe he also was aware of this rule.
Maybe,
Dan Martin and Jonas,
maybe.
all good friends, and all three of them, well, choosing not to pit so far.
Maybe Jonas has been keeping a wee secret in the parties this week from everyone.
Maybe he has. I think if Dan doesn't pit this time round, surely there's only one more chance after that to make the pit stop. So I think at the moment, if Dan's going to stay out and try and win this race.
He believes he's winning this race. Surely he believes he's going to win this race.
He has to. Let's see what he does this time round.
To see,
he does stay out. He stays out. He continues to carry on.
He thinks he's winning this race, I believe. Yeah, and Aiden is actually keeping that gap at 8 times to Softy. Softy can't keep up with Aiden at the moment. The gap is slowly going up as it's 9 tenths now. And Aiden will be gutted if Dan the man wins this race, obviously overtaking Softy.
Yeah, that'd be good news for Dan though. Again, 10 points from the race. Of course, he'd lose 6 from bonus points, but he would still gain 4 points into Softy's championship lead, which could be crucial come the end of the season.
And if Martin, obviously, if he might get disqualified as well for not stopping, if he does, and that would mean that Senna would get reverse pole and Johners would move up into second for the reverse grid. So
12 seconds is the gap that Dan has over Aiden. It's coming down, but only slowly. Not enough for Aiden to pass Dan on track if Dan stays out. As long as the tyres, of course, don't go pop on him. Of course, there is the threat that maybe his tyre wear has reached a certain point that they could go, but it doesn't seem to be struggling that much. The gap's 11.5 seconds.
That would be devastating.
Between him and Aiden.
A puncher on the last lap would be devastating.
I've lost a win before from a puncher. It's not nice, Jack. It is not nice.
Sadly, I take care of my tyres, so I don't rely on punchers.
Well,
tomorrow, Jack puncher TGPF2 cost him the win.
No, you did. Last lap, all 3 races.
Oh, don't say that. Khalifa,
Softy can't do anything about Aiden.
Yeah, Khalifa all over
I'm sorry, this is just so rare.
3 tenths.
Yeah, Jonas is with Senna for 8th and 9th. The two of them side by side. Jonas just about holding on. Senna trying to get through.
They are in the same
teammates.
car, right? The paint job, yeah, the paint job's a bit different, isn't it? Oh, and Senna spun it, and he's round. He's in
and
the
Dan the man
grass.
has stayed out. He will not be making a pit stop in this race. He is staying out. He has traffic ahead. It's Alistair, Inverness fan. But Dan the man is going to go to the end of this race. But the gap is coming down a lot quicker now, so all those tyres are going to make it.
I think the tyres will. I think the question now, Speed 9 gets past Senna. I think the question now is, does Dan the man get disqualified by Codemasters, not by us, obviously, Codemasters, for not stopping?
Of course.
Obviously, we would never disqualify anyone from any race. Of course not.
Well, Dan and Jonathan all watch F2. They all know the rules, so I'm pretty sure, pretty confident that they've got this.
Yeah, I think, although Aiden does watch it, Aiden and Softy obviously both watch it too, I don't think they would have boxed unless they really had to. Unless obviously their tyre wear is just
I
out the window.
would love to be in a party with Aiden and Softy right now. They're going to be fuming. If they've been outsmarted, then Aiden loses out on our first win of the season.
Aiden wins this race. If Dan pits, Aiden wins this race. As simple as that, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, I think Dan's got this. I think Dan has outsmarted them all. Him and Martin. Martin, of course, disconnected from this race and is still going to get 6th place as 6th stand. So it's looking very good for Dan and Martin.
Yeah. Although I've just realised, doesn't the game usually send you a notification when you need to box if you're on the tyres too long?
I think it does, yeah. I mean, we're about to find out when Dan crosses the line. If he gets instantly disqualified, then we know it's not good.
That'd be heartbreaking. It'd be heartbreaking if he gets disqualified.
And Softy's not going to get Aiden, I don't think. Aiden holding on the 2nd gap. Aiden looking good for P2.
Well, I tell you what, if Dan does win this race, I do believe, Dom, you're going to have an interesting Twitter feed from Softy and Aiden after this race is done. I tell you that. So Dan the man now, the final time he's going to come through the final couple of corners, Vale and then Club. And he, at the moment, is going to take the British Grand Prix victory. Dan the man is your race winner at Silverstone. He does win the race. Aiden will be gutted. He would have won if he Dan pits, but he's in P2 yet again in P2. Softy In P3, not many people will be leaving that. And
Dan had
Owen,
penalties. 6 seconds worth of penalties, and only just beats 8 in 3 seconds. Didn't think of that.
oh, if Dan has one more penalty, he loses that by 7 thousandths of a second. Oh. Owen comes home in 4th, he'll be happy with that. Phil, what it could have been today, he could have overtaken his teammate at the start, but after the pits, just didn't quite get there. But an absolute masterclass in strategy from Dan the man. I can't believe he's pulled that off. Johners is going to be on reverse pole. And look at that. Martin, I believe, was down in 12th when he rejoined from disconnecting. He's back up into 6th position.
And Jonas does get reverse pole as well for P8.
Senna's not going to score points. Senna's retired. He's not going to score points.
Well, Schumacher has beaten Senna.
He's retired on his own as well. I didn't think he crashed. Yeah, he's missing out on points. So, Mick Schumacher, or Marco, whatever you want to call him, obviously gaining an extra point, and Y Racer gaining a point too. It's a weird one there. And we're just waiting for Alistair to finish the race. A disaster for him. He got taken out at the start, and it's just not been right for him since. That Trident, not good luck for him at the moment.
Softy did get fastest laps. It does still score a total of 21 points from this race. Dan taking 25. So the lead is cut by 4.
Gap's
Softy
27.
only allows it to be 4.
So it would have only been 1 if Softy stays set ahead of Aiden. Jeez. Imagine winning a race but only cutting the gap by a point. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're heading straight to the sprint race. Hopefully it's dry. We want some action in this race. Obviously join us next Tuesday. We are at Spa. Hopefully it's dry at Spa.
Let's hope so.
Oh, the slipstream on that track next week, if it's dry, is going to be ridiculous. So, after 15 laps, your race winner was Dan the man. Aiden finished 2nd on the podium, with Softy in surprisingly in 3rd place. Owen and Phil 4th and 5th. Martin in P6. I'm not quite sure who finished 7th. I know it was Johners on reverse pole. Khalifa finishes in 7th, Speed 19 and Mr. Giappelli 9th and 10th, Mick Schumacher and Speed Y Racer rounding out. Oh no, they don't get points actually. I thought 11th and 12th got points. Oh, they do in TGP, don't they?
They will, yeah. Yuri will get a point, Marco
Yeah.
takes 2.
Yeah. So confused there because the game says 0. I was like, oh.
And the man, what a strategy. Of course, credit to Martin and 0-2. Sorry, Martin and Jonas. I think Jonas were done the same. Unfortunately, we haven't got into an incident with Martin. So, I think what could have been for those 3? It could have been an easy 1-2-3 if they got it right, but instead, they'll settle for a 1-6-8.
And we've dry race for the sprint race. Lost my words there.
It is dry, which plays down to Softy, and Softy doesn't actually start that far back this time. Softy will start the race on 5th, and normally it gets about 4 places on the opening lap. So, he's going to be first into lap 1. So the grid is going to be John is on pole with Khalifa alongside him, Martin and Phil on the 2nd row, Owen and Softy behind them, and then Aiden and Dan on the 4th row with 9th downwards. Your race results from 9th downwards in the feature race. Should be a good one, Jack.
Yeah, it should be. And Softy, yeah, you are right. Obviously, he's won 2 races from P8 this season. So, or 1. I think he won Spain from P8, so I would not count Softy out winning this race. Obviously, Aiden as well on 6th. He'll be alongside him. So, that could be an interesting battle into turn 1. Obviously, Softy with a superior, should we say, starts. Lights out and away we go. Johners has got a bad start there. Khalifa side by side, and they're making babies on my screen. So go into turn 1. Johners leads, and there's contact at the back. Big crash. But Johners from Khalifa, from Phil, from Softy up into P4. Martin, then Aiden, then Owen, and Dan the man rounding out the points. Aiden and Martin side by side. And Aiden up into P5, he's back behind Softy, he'll be wanting to make that move stick. 11 laps on these hard tyres. Here we go, Oh, Aiden, looking to see where his braking zone was. And everyone is so close. Johners though, keeps his lead. Coming up into the first time we go through cops in the dries. They'll be so happy it's not wet now.
Softy on Phil.
Softy
Could
all
see him
over the
moving
back of
into
Phil.
cops.
Oh, please be careful. And he backs out of that, thinks better. But
Phil's
Phil goes
gone wide though.
Phil's wide. Phil keeps that position. Don't make a move yet, Softy. Wait until the hangar straight. Don't want any incidents. Yellow flags in sector 2.
Look at Khalifa all over the back of Jonathan Softy, about to pounce on Phil as well. And then Aiden right on the back of Softy.
Yeah, Aiden, here he comes now. Aiden looks like he's going to make the move. Phil parks the car beautifully, and sadly, Alistair's... Oh, Phil's wide!
But Softy's going to get him, I think.
Softy pushes him wide, that's pretty naughty, Softy, but he's round the outside, they're touching wheels. Softy just can't quite make the position stick. They're still side by side coming onto the final corner. And Phil,
Aiden on the inside of Softy's going to take the position as the final corner. He has.
Yeah, and there's Martin as well. Softy keeps the position though. Softy P4. And Aiden into turn 1. Oh, can't quite.
And now Martin takes the better of him. Martin from 6th to 4th, a double move, and Softy found himself. And now who's this? Is Owen. Owen's joining in the fight.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Softy and Aiden scrapping it away, and Martin now like, thank you very much, we'll take those places. Martin's a 4th, and Owen fighting Aiden for 6th.
And I'm getting horrible spectator cameras, so I've got to ride on board. Well, Martin is definitely the biggest winner out of that. He's having to P4.
Owen on the inside of Aiden.
Owen. Yeah, Owen on the inside. Aiden's got the better line and the better track. He's lost it. Oh no, sorry, I'm on down the man. Hey. Here comes Softy though. Not quite close enough to Martin. Phil though.
Dan's now just 2 tenths behind Owen. He's going to want to get it clear soon. Softy just 3 tenths behind Martin, but runs wide. That's not going to help him.
All
as
8.
in the background, centre takes 10
Oh, here
from
comes
Mick.
down the man and Owen. Oh, pushes him wide onto the grass. All 8 took the exact same line round cops. That was pretty naughty for a moment. That was
Look
a bit
how tight this field is.
That was a bit of Charles Leclerc to Hamilton at Monza. Move from him there.
Down the man on Owen.
Phil on
Much
Khalifa.
closer this time. He's got the slipstream. He's going to pull to the left to go around the outside.
He's got him.
If he can get the braking right.
Speed Knighton as well.
And who's that?
Speed Knighton down
Is
the
that back
inside
marker?
of both of them. No, Speed Knighton in 9th. He's in 8th. There's contact, but Knighton's going to get him, I think, into the last part of the track. Gives him a bit of space, and oh, he can't quite keep the position. Owen does well there.
Down into P7. Khalifa, 3 tenths on Jonathan. DRS now is in play. So if it wasn't close enough already, he's about to get closer.
Phil is the fastest man on track as it stands, but Softy all over the back of Martin. Looks to make the move, but locks up. Can't quite.
He'll go for a move on the inside here, though, surely. Oh, he thinks better of it. He'll wait for the DRS, wait for the straight, but Mon's going to get DRS too. I think he was just within a second of Phil.
Khalifa,
Softy almost losing the back end.
DRS is open on Johners in front. Not quite close enough that time, but Softy not quite close enough to Martin either.
7 tenths separate the front 3 as Khalifa thinks about a move here. He's not going to get through that.
Well, you know, you could do a Jack Craig go down into the Chris Johnson on that corner if you want, but it doesn't always end the well.
We're not all Jack Craig.
We're not all.
Martin struggling here. You can see Softy all
Softy.
over the back of him. And Khalifa just 2 tenths off John is surely a move. It's only a matter of time. 4 tenths separate the top front 3.
Khalifa does deserve a good result this season. He's done so well. And I believe he's going to get him at the DRS. Moves to the left hand side. Johners makes sure he moves to the left. And he's not going to get him. Johners the places to go. Oh, they're touching. Khalifa pushing Johners through Stowe. Johners defends. Khalifa breaks later, trying to go around the outside for the.
Phil's got the perfect view behind this as well. He's just waiting for his moment. He's going to go up the inside. I think of Khalifa here. 2P2.
He's Phil up into P2. Softy with the fastest lap of the
still side by side though. Khalifa might get Phil back again, but Phil forces him off.
Yeah.
And now
Phil...
Martin takes Khalifa, and Softy's going to get to pair them, I think, maybe.
Oh, Softy's
Oh,
got
that's silly from Softy.
So,
That was silly from Softy, and Aiden goes into him. It's damage for him.
Was it Aiden or
Both.
Dan? I think.
I think it might have been Aiden, or maybe it was Dan. So I thought it was Aiden, but
it's not. Aiden's not got damage.
Aiden's got damage. He's dropping back. He's down to 8th. Khalifa's out.
Oh, what's happened there? Aiden's left the session. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
I think it was Softy spun himself round, and Aiden went straight into him.
Aiden had no react. He couldn't react to that. Surely though. It was just
Softy, I don't think he has too much damage. In fact, I think Aiden saved him from dropping down to the back of the grid. Softy in 7th, Dan the man up to 4th now. Jonas still leads from Phil. What a race!
Well, Aiden has.
Owen on Dan takes P4 off him. Dan the man got damage. Maybe Dan has got damage too.
I thought it was Dan that had damage. Yeah, he does. He's got no end plate on the left hand side. Dan's got damage. Speed 19 looking to get him as well. Khalifa's got Speed 19, so he's got him. Speed 19.
I think Dan's gonna have to pay. Dan's gonna have to pay. He's got the challenge leader Softy right behind him now. Softy.
Does Softy have damage though? He got fair scalped by Aiden and Dan. He's fine.
Looks like that incident has actually, ironically, helped Softy the most. Softy, who sort of lost it by himself, is now suddenly in a position where he's going to score a lot more points than Aiden and Dan, his 2-time rivals.
Owen has a penalty, so that means that Softy and Knighton will jump him. Here comes Phil though. Can he do anything? Onto the Wellington straight as we come through towards Village. John is just too far ahead. What a disaster for Aiden though. He couldn't react in time to that. It was just so fast, you know, that corner. And just no time. Speed Knighton though, all over the back of Owen. Onto the Wellington straight they go. Phil catching up, but can't quite before the end of the straight. And Speed 9 just doesn't have the straight line speed to overtake Owen. Obviously he has a penalty, so technically Speed 9 does not need to overtake. Obviously Knighton 10th in the championship on 27 points. Owen is 7th on 44 points. Obviously that will change after the last race that just happened. I think Owen will be on 66. I think he finished 4th in the last race. I think we're on 66 now. Phil now, can he get a good exit from Margis and Beggars and onto the hanger straight and then maybe try and overtake Johners? Obviously he's been on reverse pole once before this week and he won the race. So maybe this could be a tradition for Johners, finishing 8th and then winning the races after. Don't think he'd mind too much.
Nine's all over Owen, going for 4th,
and
trying to find a way through.
Yeah, that was a...
They're making babies. Yeah. Nine has the baby for now. And Owen lets Knighton come through.
I don't
Phil,
think,
2 10s on Johners.
I don't think Owen has much of an option. Fastest lap from Johners.
Well.
I don't think he has much of an option of letting him through. He literally let him pass through his car. And oh,
Aiden's back. He's now fine with Luca. The side by side into the last corner.
Here comes Aiden, no. Very wide, and Luca's got a penalty. So Aiden must have disconnected from the Grand Prix. A shame for him, he had such a good featured race, and he would have won if Dan Pitt. Heartbreaking for the Inverness man.
Also disconnect the 2, so I suggest that the
down the inside goes
Griffin
Aiden.
household.
Down the inside goes Aiden.
That's their internet.
Into the loop, yeah.
Lovely move.
You love the
Luca's still there though, and he's still going to keep hold of the position.
Yeah. And Luca's got the DRS actually. Oh, they both do. I don't know how that's happened. There must be a back marker. Aiden breaks late down round the outside. Dan the man has a penalty. I don't know where Dan the man is though. He's quite far down the order, ain't he, Dan the man? Oh, contact! Lucas hit Aiden in Bluefield. Lucas gonna get the better exit because he's on the line. And they're where Jack and Chris Johnson crashed out. Hopefully they don't do the same. He don't. Aiden a better driver, clearly.
And while all that was happening, Owen and Knight having a great battle for P5, and you can see John is now just 4 tenths clear of Phil. Phil sticking within that DRS, and another chance coming up shortly for Phil.
Aiden.
And he become the 5th winner of the season.
Oh, Lucas hit the grass, and Aiden gonna swoop to the left hand side, and he's gonna take P9. Lovely from Aiden. Softy
with a penalty.
It's not going to affect them though. Y-Racer's too far behind.
Phil then, 4/10. He had 5 more chances, 5 more laps to get ahead of Jonas. Doesn't need to rush it.
Softy
He's got a good gap behind to Martin.
Sorry to interrupt, but Softy down the inside of Owen.
He's
Into
taken
turn
him.
1, he's got on the move. Sorry to interrupt, Dom.
Softy, no worries, no worries. This is the action.
Softy into P5. So he's back up to where he was before he spun it. So,
not bad, not bad.
Maybe
down at 12.
Maybe
about to become 11th, still no points.
Maybe a wee bit of tactics there. Oh, bye Red Bull Kim. Maybe a wee bit of tactics taking out second and third in the championship, and they're low down and Softy still in P5.
Danaman can of course get the fastest lap, can take 2 points from this race. It's not all disaster. He's not going to get any from the points, I think. In fact, he has to be top 10, doesn't he, to get the fastest lap? So
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's definitely the fastest lap.
Those points are worthless for Dan at the moment. He needs someone ahead to have a pit stop, an incident or something, because he's 25 seconds back from Luca, who is going to score that crucial 10th place.
Oh, and Nathan has a penalty. 4th place was looking so good for him. Obviously, he's got Softy behind, but he just couldn't keep up. And oh, Mark's got a penalty as well on the final step of the podium. So as it stands, if Softy has a penalty as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Jeez.
Phil, look how close he is to Jonas in these final sector. The gap 2 tenths. Jonas is holding on for his dear life, but Phil is getting closer and closer. It's impossible to get any closer. This is brilliant.
Yeah, obviously Jonas can let Phil through if he can stay within 3 seconds. Oh, there's the old TGP theme song that we love. From the OG days, before my time. And Aiden's made a move on Risky Racer. Or, well, I think he's pit actually Risky. Well, I can't actually see because the spectator cam called the busters. Don't know what's going on.
Classic.
But Aiden is into P8, that's the important thing. Aiden up into P8. So Aiden will score points this race. Softy is all over the back of Speed 19. Trying to keep up. Danaman sets another fastest lap, but of course he has to overtake Luca for it to matter. Danaman will be having his fingers crossed, praying for a retirement or a disconnection. Look how close Softy is coming in to Cop's corner. Softy needs to make this overtake to get into P4. Can't quite tell where Speed 19 is. I can't tell if he's in Silverstone or if he's in next week at Spa or whatever this Wi-Fi's doing. Owen, just looking back at that fact, he does have the DRS still. Oh no, he doesn't, sorry. I can't quite tell, that front wing is so... Yeah, he did have it. Yellow flags in Sector 3, someone's come off. Or someone's going slow.
Yeah, it was Marco had a spin. He's back going again.
The new and improved Mick Schumacher, apparently.
Softy's 2 tenths on 9. Look how close he is, pushing him around the corner.
I wouldn't make a move into turn 1 this time. Right up. Pushing right into. Luca Giapelli's made a move on Risky in the back, but I think kind of leaving the door open a wee bit for Softy Speed 9. We could be seeing a Hamilton and Albon incident if he keeps leaving that door open. Obviously Phil has kept that gap at 5 tenths. He just can't get that gap down, can he?
He can't.
The Racing Point S car.
So if Dan the Man doesn't get in the top 10, more annoyingly for him, the fastest lap then goes to the driver with the quickest lap in the top 10, which annoyingly for him is Softy. Softy has the second quickest lap and will take the 2 points if Dan can't get in the top 10.
Of course it's Softy.
Always Softy. Phil, 2 tenths on Jonas still as we come on to the back straight.
Aiden is actually less than a tenth of Softy's fastest lap time, believe it or not.
It is close. Will Phil go for a move here in the final sector? I think this is the closer they've looked. Getting very close, these two.
Yeah, Johners is going to defend hard. Yeah, he's really close. Pushing Johnner. He goes to the left. Johners doesn't defend.
Go for it.
He's going to get him, I think. Not quite. Not brave enough on the power. I definitely wouldn't be brave enough on the power on the F2 car either, so I don't blame him. Stick
2 laps to go.
Now. Yep, the penultimate lap here in Silverstone. We finally had some action this race after the wet featured race, believe it or not. In Britain, I know, raining. Shock.
Should be interesting to see if Aiden can get Wyrace for 7th, if Dan can get that final point. He's now just 8 seconds off Risky, so Risky's dropped back down to 10th. Dan closing in on that, and Phil's about to make a move on Johners.
Side by side.
And he takes the lead.
Yeah.
A beautiful move from Phil.
Yeah, going back
Johners can't do anything.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to try a move around the outside, but still, obviously, Johners still technically wins this race if he can keep it within 3 seconds, which he should do. Softy all over the back in Knighton though, coming up to Cops. I don't think Softy's actually brave enough to make the move. Obviously, he might not be lagging on Softy's cam, but he's lagging all over the place. And there they go, side by side.
Softy into turn. Oh!
Side by side into Cops. Softy pushes him out. They're still side by side, coming up to Margits and Beckett's. Gonna have to give each other the room. Softy squeezes Knighton out a wee bit, and Softy gets the move done and up into P4. But obviously Johners all over the back of Phil.
Nice work from Softy, but 9 will come back at them.
Not quite got the straight line speed. And look at Owen behind, he's capitalising. Owen all over the back of Knighton and Softy now. So that's helping out Owen a wee bit. And I think Owen's the only one that doesn't have a penalty, so...
Johners is back on Phil's tail, the gap a 10th. Not close enough, I don't think, to go for a move into turn 1. But look how close they are. Battles throughout the field here. Owen, as you said, 2 tenths off Knighton.
We're on the final lap of the Grand Prix, so as it stands, Johners will win this race, unless I've missed a penalty that I haven't seen. I don't think so.
No, you are correct.
Yeah, Johners will win this race. The final step of the podium, though, is the confusing one. I'm not quite sure. Quite a few drivers not going to finish where they finished. And look how close. Lovely chopper coming through Brooklands. Been naming that corner all night and I forget it on the final lap, I believe. Of course.
So Softy will take the final podium. Martin has 6 seconds worth of penalties to Softy's 3.
And here comes Phil. They're side by side. Going into Cops. He defends a wee bit. He's got that. Stays in P1.
I don't know if Johners knows, but they don't have to race these two. They don't have to race.
Yeah, Johners just keep it in between the white lines and you are another sprint race winner.
Second win of the season for Johners it would be.
Johners will be loving life. 2 wins this season.
And suddenly, Softy, who's dominated this season, has won 2 races out of 6.
Owen all over the back of 29. He moves to the left hand side, coming up to Stowe. Can he get the move done? I believe he is going to get the move done. Not quite. They're inside each other. And I've lost him. They're not there on track.
As Phil crosses the line to finish the track first, but Johners will take the win with a penalty.
Yeah, Johners wins the race. Phil in second. Martin not going to come first.
Softy will get third.
The man doesn't even finish in third.
And Dan did get 10th.
Dan does get 10th. Oh, so he does
so
get
he gets
the
3 points for that.
Obviously, Aiden will be gutted about the contact.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I need my bed.
Me too, mate.
What a night, though. Some strategy masterclasses, championship leader spinning. Johners winning his 2nd race of the season. It's been some night. We're just waiting for Risky Racer to finish off the race. Dan the man had a puncher actually, believe it or not, on the softs.
Oh.
So...
He does, Dan the man's got a puncher, the front lap's gone. So he just about...
Just luckily crosses the line. Position. Just waiting. He's
Dan the man finishing the race at the right time with that puncher.
So, out of the two races, who has impressed you most tonight, Dom?
I've got to say, Jonas really. Anne and Jonas have both done the strategy masterclass in the first race. Of course, Jonas didn't get to take the most of it because he had an incident early on. But, I mean, Aiden's also impressed too with his speed. Unfortunately, for him, not quite the luck he needed in the sprint race. But I mean, it's hard to pick a driver overall of the day.
Yeah, everyone.
Let's give it to Phil. In fact, let's give it to Phil.
Phil was fast. He would have won that race. Obviously, he doesn't. But there is your winner, Johners. 3 Britons on the podium. What you love to see. You don't see that often in F1, but you know. So next week, the 26th of November, we are at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's going to be a slipstream fest, that one. Hopefully it stays dry there.
Do you love that?
Hopefully it stays dry, but obviously your final rundown of the race results. Johners wins the race with Phil and Softy rounding out the podium. Martin and 19 finishing 4th and 5th. Owen, who's had a good night, 6th with Y-Racer in 7th. And Aiden getting the final point in P8. Dan the Man scores 2 points for finishing in the top 10 with the fastest lap. 6 tenths clear of Softy for the fastest lap. Yep, so Softy will keep that gap at the top of the championship. He's going to extend it by around 10 points, I believe it's going to be. Softy's going to keep that.
Yeah.
The gap will be 37 points if my maths is correct. Obviously, quick maths, you know. 37 points. So he's gained 6 points. But thank you for joining me tonight, Dom. And I hope you're here next week. Join us next week for Spa on the 26th. And if TGP2 will be streamed tomorrow probably, so make sure to check that out too, to watch me win the race, of course. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.